are trading mini S&Ps here. We are trying to find inflection points in the market using our levels and price action opportunities that occur, because we don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. Consequently, we're looking for those areas where we can scalp the market, take 2 to 3 points out of our trades minimally. And obviously, sometimes if you're trading multiple contracts, you're able to take more than 2 or 3 points, again, depending on the setup and depending on how much risk tolerance each individual takes, because everybody's got different risk tolerances, and I respect that. So you have to find the optimal way to maximize your profits here based on each individual's ability to handle risk, meaning how many contracts you trade and what your goals are, et cetera, et cetera. So all these things we talk about in our education course, which we offer and help you try to find the levels and try to find the price action opportunities, and then how to execute them going forward. All right, market opens up here. It's very, very quiet. Has been for the last day or so. Tight little ranges. Slowly upticking here based on the fact that the hope that, well, they will figure out some kind of deal in Washington in regards to stimulus package. So it's just a matter of how much and how that's going to affect the market. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so we're just kind of range bound here. Again, not a surprise. We've been talking about the lack of volatility here for a little bit of time here, as you just, we don't know. Again, it's not really surprising. So it's one of those situations where you have to just be patient and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. We don't chase trades. Like I said, we're looking 2 to 3. We're scalping the market, and dependent on the volatility and how much business there is each given day. We're looking maybe we would like on average 4 or 5 trades a day. Sometimes, obviously, we get a little bit more. Sometimes we get a little bit less. But that's all. I mean, again, every day is a different day, and we have no preconceived notion as to how much we're going to trade or what we're going to do any given day. So keep that in mind as you're trading, that we are totally market dependent on volatility here. And so we don't like to chase trades. We're not out there trying to create trades or try to find them and this and that. We just wait for the market to give us the opportunity to trade, and then if that happens, it's great, and then we have to work to trade. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, dependent on for how good we are that day or not, but that's what we try to do here. So all right, again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box area. Hi there, and on. I do have PayPal. PayPal works for us also, just in case you were wondering if how you deal with that. I don't know how to answer that question for you. Where are you from, by the way? So the market's slowly trickling down here. Again, there's really not much happening as we approach Christmas week, and stuff like that's gonna. This again, like I said, we're just dependent on our trade, dependent on what the market gives us as we slowly drift down here to our 12 area of support. So work in this little 12 area here. Let's see if there's any numbers coming out today. All right, nice little rotation here off of our 12 area. Again, we scale in. So leading indicators is coming out here at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. Fantastic there, Peter. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you on board, and we're looking forward to it. Um, given the holidays and everything, if we wait a little bit of time to get a date started, is that all right with you? Uh, we can always talk about that. So anyway, 9 o'clock, top of the hour, we have a number coming out, and then there's a couple Fed speaks. They're talking at 10 o'clock. Two Fed speaks at 10 o'clock in case something happens. Fed speaks or Fed governors are talking. So they will be discussing whatever they discuss, and they could have some market movement for us. We never know. As we are drifting down here, we got down to the green band there. It's a little bit heavy this morning as market just kind of opens up here. A little options expiration and Tesla comments into Monday. Yeah, okay. Thanks there, Helm. It is what it is. I mean, I don't really concern or really think about that so much. I think that's really not going to be a market mover. Sometimes it is, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't. I don't know. I'm not. I don't get too excited by. Well, options expiration. The triple witching thing is probably one of the things that I do look at to maybe concern ourselves with, but that's about it as far as options are concerned. And the triple witching thing only will occur at the end of the day, right? All right. So again, we're a little bit of pressure here. Market has been dipped down, came back up to the 12, maybe giving you a chance to scratch a couple of them. If you're trading multiple contracts, as the market just kind of opened up here a little bit, they went down to the green band there and popped back up. So if you are kind of just trading and watching it, it's giving you a chance to get out if you're trading multiple contracts for a little bit. Sometimes we have to work a trade, right? It's not always going to be exactly perfect. So in regards to what you're saying, index funds tracking the S&P 500 have a small window today to buy the Tesla stock as the electric vehicle maker gears up to join the widely tracked stock index. It's going to be a wild scene for investors in minutes before Friday's closes, and traders are also watching for how giant additions will ripple through the derivatives markets, with big swings influencing option pricing, adding to the volatility. Tesla is easily the most traded stock on Wall Street and has surged 50% since November, when the S&P announced it was going to be joining the index, and almost 700% for the year to date. Whew. Helping to smooth out the addition quadruple witching, which refers to the day that options and futures on both indexes, stocks expire simultaneously and generally produces heavy volume that can boost liquidity. At over $600 billion, Tesla will become the most valuable company ever admitted into the Wall Street's main benchmark. There you have it. All right, so again, the market came drifting down here to the 12. We kind of went through it, gave us a chance to maybe to scratch a little bit or get out for a little bit of a loss as the market is kind of not really giving us the reaction we're looking for, especially it tried to bounce off of our green band there, but really didn't give us too much of a push and just kind of just hanging here. So not really to get too excited about this 12 anymore. It's also the kind of get the blue band in our hourly, right in that little area there, and just kind of hanging right now in this little spot. That was the backup that we had. So now we're just kind of seeing what we want to do here. If we get lower, next level on the downside we have is the 6. I'll be looking at that as the next support level. So today's quadruple witching, which again, this will only the volatility will come like at the end of the day, like the last hour. Which again, we don't we're not like too excited about trading the last hour. We don't like to trade the afternoon trade. It's very quiet and not much is going on. So if that happens, I mean, hopefully you're not hanging around watching that stuff because that's not going to be too much fun. But anyway, that would be the only concern. But we always warn you about trading the last hour all the time. So definitely don't want to be here today on the last hour. It's not good for your health to watch these things whip around, just like it isn't good for your health to be watching it when it trades at FOMC stuff. So. All right, market drifted down here a little bit. We got a number coming out here top of the hour, and we'll see what that offers us. It got down here to 7 now, and then popping back up a little bit. 6 is still all right. Yesterday, we left you with a little bit of an adjustment on the downside, and that was kind of the low. We said maybe down to 2 would be a good opportunity there, and it turned out to be a nice little trade if you stayed with it. It was a very tight range yesterday afternoon. I mean, exceptionally tight. So that's what happens this time of the year, where you get a little volatility in the morning, and then all of a sudden they just shut it down the rest of the day. The U.S. stock future indexes are holding their breath after coming off of record high sessions on Thursday, which saw all 3 of the major averages close to new highs. Leaders on Capitol Hill said that they are close to an agreement that would provide $900 billion in coronavirus aid package, including a direct payments to individuals and enhanced unemployment benefits and help for smaller businesses. The negotiations have stretched on for months. Are up against the wire, and the federal fund lapsing on Saturday, meaning that another stopgap measure may be needed. And then the FDA also gave approval to Moderna's COVID vaccine, so that should help with on that horizon. As we drifted down to 7 there, and then popping back up here a little bit. We had the 6 area. Let's see. Yeah, we're just slowly backing, but we have a number coming out here in about 16 minutes, so keep that in mind. We don't like to trade numbers. If there's going to be numbers, we just kind of like to sit on the side. And let the numbers kind of play themselves out. I've been involved with too many numbers, and you always have a position on. It seems to always be wrong. So instead of going that route, we'll just go the route of being a little bit safer and wait for the number to be released and then trade whatever volatility comes out of it afterwards. Bond markets, very, very quiet. Probably the tightest ranges I've seen in a while. Really, so is S&Ps. Volume is exceptionally light here, which again is the time of the year. So we have to be careful and not get too caught up in wanting to trade this stuff a lot. Just keep your stop in. All right, there you go. Okay, we're coming down here to 6. Maybe you made a little bit of an adjustment on your entry point. See if we can get a little bit of rotation here off of that level. See what it wants to do here. Obviously, the 12 area didn't work out too well for us. Again, it's a matter of how you enter and how you exit. Sometimes you got to work at a level. Sometimes it's easier than other times. Sometimes it's not. It is what it is. We do have a number coming out here in about 15 minutes. A lot of pressure, as you can see on this market. Continues to downtick. Just keep your stops in no matter what. Right? That's all we got to do. Federal Reserve comes out with its latest round of bank stress test today, which look at how well U.S. lenders can handle fallout from a coronavirus crisis. Previous results released in the summer found that banks could weather heavy capital losses, though the Fed is running another set of tests this year given the severity of economic slump. Among those analyzing the scorecard are bank investors given the constraints imposed by buybacks and dividends since June to preserve cash for lending during the pandemic. The new assessment will determine if the Fed will keep the restrictions in place, though many analysts expect them to remain until the second half of 21. All right, we continue to downtick here. Hopefully, maybe you made a little bit of an adjustment there on the entry point because it is 7, but still kind of getting downticking here. Seems like there's no bounce here in these trades, but sometimes that's going to happen. Unfortunately, Friday sucks. See, bond market bond market's really dead, not giving us any help there. All right, well, let's just try to come back here a little bit for us. Again, maybe adjusted your entry point based on the fact that we got down to 7 last time. Why all the selling pressure? Well, the easiest answer I have for you is more sellers than buyers. Sorry, I can't be more, learned in my answer. I'm not here to try to figure out why markets move, right? And we're just here to trade them. No. Oh, you meant news? No news. Again, it's a culmination of what happens overnight, how good or bad the news is coming out of Washington. I mean, that's the only thing that's really affecting our market. And then you have the weekend coming up, and so if they figure out some kind of package or something over the weekend because the government's supposed to run out of money on Saturday. If that's okay. Remember what I said? I said yesterday that buy the rumor and you sell the fact kind of situation. So the only rumor here is, is the fact that they want to come up with some kind of package. And if they do come up with it, maybe it's the rally. What else is going to affect this market? They got the vaccines coming out. The market has ignored the death tolls in the United States. They're hoping that the vaccine takes care of that. And so there's really what other news is going to affect the market to the upside, right? So it could be just taking some profits here from this big run that they've had, because we are on these new highs, right? So, and usually what happens is you do get a little bit of a pressure in the morning, if you've been noticing lately, and then they rally it slowly in the afternoon. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not trying to figure out what the market's going to do, or I just try to trade the levels and try to stay clean of any thoughts as to what I should be doing, because usually I try not to think that way. I just try to let the market kind of tell me what to do. As far as news is concerned, there's only numbers coming out here in 10 minutes. So again, if you are trading and ran through a couple levels here, you're just going to be waiting for one more good opportunity, and we'll see what the next level is. Yeah, we did enter at 6. Well, we entered a little bit better than that, maybe at 05, because of the way it stopped at 7 earlier. So we adjusted a little bit. We have, but that doesn't matter anyway. We just lessened the loss here a little bit, because it kind of ran through our level. The 12 area, we did bounce down to it and then bounce back up. Hopefully we, like I suggested, maybe we got some of us got out of some for a little bit of a loss, or scratched it. I think it got just around 12. Okay, so you have to work the level there for a little bit, see what the market was telling us. The market kind of drifted quickly down to 11 and bounced back up to 12. And I think some of our traders maybe bailed out because of the at least scratched it or took a little bit of a loss. I suggested that when we got to it, but this 6 is not giving us any chance at all. Just kind of, even if we entered down at 5, just kind of just hanging here to 2. So if you still have them anything below 1.5, you definitely want to be out of any longs. But we did drift up to the 4 level again. Sometimes you gotta lessen the load here a little bit. Maybe if you're trading multiple contracts, trade a little bit, get out for, you don't have to keep your, you don't have to wait till it gets stopped out. If the market is just bouncing around and giving you a chance to either get out for less of a loss or scratching it like we talked about on the 12. Again, all of this is dependent on the price action. So that's what we try to talk about, try to show you, how when a level gets hit and how it trades around it and what we should be doing. As the market continues to downtick here, the next level we have down here is a 99. So they kind of open up the floodgates here. We've covered the whole range overnight almost in, 15, 20 minutes. So that stuff happens sometimes. And that's why we wait till 8:30 when the market really opens up. As more volume comes in, then you're going to get a lot more volatility at that time. As we quickly drift down here to the 99 area. Again, if you saw the couple levels or you went through them and you don't feel like trading them until you get a good reason to trade, then wait a little bit, especially since we have a number coming out here in about 5 minutes. Again, we drifted down quickly down to 97, coming back up here, giving you a chance if you did get in, you don't like the entry point, I would trade it around the level to get out here for a little bit of a loss, or this situation gain. Take a little bit, lighten the load if you're trading multiple contracts. Again, usually we don't usually slip through levels as easily as they are right now. So when that happens, we have to adjust our trading just a little bit and respect the market's down speed here, down going to the downside. So again, this is another trade here where we had to work it a little bit. I suggested getting out of some, even for a little bit of a gain there. We went up to even, coming back down. Don't have to keep, especially since the market is trading the way it's trading. Could I have gotten short anywhere is the question. I mean, I wish I could tell you I would have. There's really no, I didn't see any place there that I could have gotten short as far as what we try to do. So that I can't tell you. But again, you have to respect what the market is doing. We have to see what's happening, and we can see that it's kind of a little bit, for whatever reason, right now, there's like many more sellers than buyers. And the market's just under pressure a little bit. Again, like I mentioned, why? I can't, I'm not, always don't have the answer to that one all the time. Sometimes it's a little easier to understand, but today it's just, I think, like I said, I think most of it is definitely due to the fact that we are on this weekend and they don't want to have anything on over the weekend, especially if they come up with some kind of agreement. And I think the market, like I said, is, if they come up with that agreement, maybe at that point they'll break it. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't like to figure out. I don't like to have opinions. I just like to trade the market. As we come floating back up here, we did get down to 96.25. So if you got your 3-point stop in there, you did not get stopped, but we are getting a little bit of a bounce here. Again, I'm suggesting that if you lighten the load as far as how many contracts you're trading. And at least we've gotten a little bit of a pushback up here to give us a couple points. So hopefully you take some off. Yeah, opinions do cost me a lot of money. So I try really not to have an opinion on the market. I'm usually wrong if I really have an opinion. And the worst part about having an opinion, all right, Robert, nice trade. The worst part about having an opinion is that you have that bias in your head. You trade it all day, and if you're wrong with the bias, right, you're fighting the market the whole day. And so we try to stay away from that as best we can. So it's not so much having an opinion as it is you're trading, even though maybe you get out, then you're wrong right away, but then that opinion stays with you. And then if the market is counter your opinion, you're going to be in trouble the whole day. So, I mean, yesterday we were short, then long, short. I mean, we were trading the market because it was giving us an opportunity here. This is pretty much one-way trade. Doesn't really give us too much opportunities because we're looking for ebbs and flows of the market. At least we did have a nice little rotation here off of our 99 area, at least, even though we had to take a little bit of heat on it quick. It go down to 96.25 there. Hopefully you were able to stay with it. Really didn't stay down there that long. And we're getting a nice little push back up here off of the 99 area. Again, we talked about exiting those other levels, talked about trading around them, how you get out of them. Today we're having to do some trading, unfortunately. It's a little bit tougher than usual. Well, at least today is. We have to work the levels, which is fine. As numbers coming out here in about 2 minutes, so keep that in mind. We don't like to trade when there's a number. So that's going to be out here in about 2 minutes. So keep that in mind. We usually like to be flat when those numbers are released. All right. All right. Well, at least get a little bit of money back off of this 96 area. I don't like to work so hard on a Friday. Man, oh man. See, this is what I expected to be a little dead today. Shows you what I know. Oh, that was a nasty bond spike. Yeah, nasty there in the bond market there the other day. Yeah, so I expect it to be to have nothing much going on. If somebody can post the levels for us, please, appreciate it. There we go. Yeah, the number coming out here momentarily. So again, try to stay flat here. I mean, we don't like to trade numbers, but like I said, I came in here thinking that we're not going to be too busy today, and nothing was going to happen. Look at that hourly bar there so far is probably the longest bar we've had in the last 3-4 days. You can see that the hourly bar. So it shows you what I know. Thinking we were going to be dead this morning. All right, numbers out. See what kind of reaction you get. We're off of our 99, so that doesn't come into play anymore. We're flat. Hopefully we're able to stay with this trade here and take a little bit of profit against this 99, make up for maybe the 06. 12, talked about scratching it, so hopefully we're able to get out for a little bit of a loss or a scratch, because that definitely was the way the price action wasn't trading too well. And they're just kind of floating up here again. We'll have plenty of opportunity to trade if the numbers, once the numbers are out, so you don't have to worry about having to have a position on when a number comes out. Like I said, usually I'm wrong. The few times that I've had a position, sometimes accidentally, sometimes I miscounted, or sometimes on purpose. Anytime I had a position on, it didn't work out. So let's keep that in mind. There's no reason to have positions on when numbers comes out. So all right, they're slowly drifting back down here. Next support level we have is down at 91. Okay, so we have 91, 85. And let me, again, I don't know if anything's going to happen the rest of the day, if they're really going to open up the floodgates or not, but if they do, they do. Then down at 77 and 63. 77, 70, and 63. So 85, 77, 70, and 63. Usually when I give you more levels one way or the other, means I just stop the market from going down. But no, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Put them in the chat box area. I like to have questions. Try to explain what's going on here. I talk through the trade, so it's not like I'm not talking through them. I mean, obviously, we're not. We kind of ran through our first couple levels there, but at least our third level worked here very nicely for us. So there are the levels with the new levels added on. In the chat box area. You could have had to be a little aggressive, but the problem right there was that we were maybe thinking of, we were hoping that it would hold because we had the 12 there, so I was using that as backup. So it was tough. It was tough to find a place to get short, especially the way it broke off. Never really gave us a chance, but that's what happens when you get the opening and it goes like that one way. Sometimes how many times does that happen? right? Think about it. We haven't had one of these openings in a very long time. So, got to take the good with the bad. This was definitely they had they knew what they wanted to do, but they didn't tell us. They came in here and said, all right, we're going to sell this, but they forgot to tell us. So, yeah, we got to trade what we got. We got to trade what the market gives us. That's all I can say. All right, so next level on the downside here is the 91 area. Man, they're just like, they hit those stops and they go. Quickly drifting down here. Timmy, you came in late. Good day to come in late. Well, at least go down to 91 and make this little pop. Sometimes it's not fair what it does, right? Oh, we'll see what happens. 91's still okay. Looking for the 91 is next support level. All right, kind of coming back up here a little bit, just kind of doing its thing. We had 91. We have to be patient. Where to get short right now, we don't have a really good resistance until all the way up at 12 or 11. So, I mean, we could easily go right back up. So I don't want to say you're going to get short right at 96, 06 or anything like that. I'm just, I'd rather wait right now for the 12 area if it gets up there, but that could change. But I mean, given the morning volatility, that's where I would be looking at. And kind of just doing nothing here in the middle. So it's okay. We got to be patient, like I said. And again, we don't want to overtrade. This is one thing we got to remember. So all right, nice rotation there. It got down to 93, 90, almost 93, 92.75, and it popped back up here a little bit. It continues to rally here. Again, really the only good resistance I have is up at the 12 area, at least for the time being. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. I know it's kind of quiet. It's bouncing around here. This is a place where we got to wait for the opportunity given the quick push here to the downside. So unless you could, I don't know, we were expecting it. The 91 area would have been a nice little opportunity, but we got down to 275 and then popped back up. And now we're just kind of coming back up here. Good resistance will be at 1112 right now, and that'll be only the support level will be down at 91. Otherwise, in the middle here, I got really no opinion, and that's fine. You just got to be patient and wait. Fair value. Well, sometimes when the market closes at the market closes the stock market closes at 3, right? Yeah, but the S&Ps keep on trading, and so when the S&Ps finally close, there's a there's a difference between the closing price and the value of the S&Ps at that price, the futures versus the cash. So the discrepancy is called the fair value, what it should be, even though the one of them is off by a little bit. So yeah, that goes simply by the fact that one market closes a little bit earlier than the other. Well, actually, yeah. So, and there could be some news that comes out of, like after the S&Ps closed yesterday. I think, after the cash market closed yesterday, there were some numbers that came out. I think FedEx came out with the results, and so you get movement in the futures, but no movement in the cash because it's closed. And so then they both close, and then there's a discrepancy between when the cash closed and when the futures closed. That's a simple explanation. Again, I'm not really looking for. I really don't. This could go either way here, right? I mean, it could be oversold. It could be this. I mean, I don't have an opinion really here till 11. I'm just not. I don't want to get caught in the middle of this stuff right now, one way or the other. So I'd rather just be patient and wait, since we got run over by a couple of levels. So I'd rather just find a good entry point, at least an entry point that I think might be better. The middle here, I'd stay away from the middle. That's me. Yeah, again, everybody's different. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you not to trade. I'm just trying to tell you, what I think, and then and Everybody gets to make their own decisions. Just remember that. All right, we're just kind of back and forth here, a little no man's land. So let's be a little bit patient. Can't just always want to trade because you want to trade. We have to wait for the market to give us that opportunity. That's what we're doing right now. 91 again is the next support level. If you want to adjust a little bit, maybe you could, just a little. All right, we're just chopping around here. Again, just be patient. Chopping around is not good for us. We like movement, obviously, but we're not getting any ebbs and flows today. We're getting one-way trade, so we have to just be patient here and see what's going to happen, if they're going to extend this move to the downside, or they're just going to just kind of sidewind here for a little bit. We just don't know. Either way, resistance would be back at 1112, and support right now down at the 91, and in the middle here. You just gotta wait for it to play itself out a little bit. If you're a little aggressive, maybe if you want a little tighter sell area, would be up at 06. That would be probably the next if you're looking for spot there, maybe you wanted to get short. That would be the only other area that looks like a possible short. But in the middle here, doing its back and forth thing, kind of tough to get too excited about it. All right, so again, in Washington, there's going to be news headlines. It's going to be figure out how much this package is going to be worth. But you got to remember that they have to extend the budget a little bit here, because that's supposed to end at midnight tomorrow. So they're going to be working through the weekend. That's what they said, till they come up with a vote. All right, just kind of drifting back and forth here. Again, not much of anything happening, just a little range bound. All right, we continue to downtick here. I'm looking at the 91 area, so next little support area. Market definitely under a little bit of pressure, not giving us any kind of rotation. And again, if it's a little bit too tricky for you or too much, just want to be patient and wait. It's fine, but at least we have a reason to trade now. We didn't have a reason when it was kind of just bouncing around there. Of course. Kind of just stops there, one tick above where we're supposed to enter. That's not nice. All right, so unfortunately, make a little bit of an adjustment here. It's not being too friendly today, the market. Had an entry point here at 91 and a half, and it gets down to 175 and stops. So if you're gonna, obviously a little bit more risky now that you did not get in. So if you're a little bit more risk averse, maybe you go lower end, or if you're really risk averse, cancel the level altogether. Again, everybody's got different risk tolerances, so there's not one way to do this is right or wrong. So that's unfortunate that we had our entry point down at the 1.5, and a nice little rotation here off of that 91 area. But unless you put it the 92 area, unless you entered your scale at 92, you didn't obviously get filled. All right, so we did bounce here off of, 91 area-ish. If you're going to keep the entry point there, you definitely have to adjust it a little bit. Fortunately, just missed out there. Maybe go down to maybe 90 or 89 as an adjustment, or if because we missed it by just one tick and we did get a nice rotation off of it, some of you are going to not have the level altogether. Again, any of those options are out there and they're all workable and doable. Again, everybody's got to do it from risk tolerances. So if you understand the risk and then have to make those decisions for each individual because everybody's different. All right. Well, the market is just kind of teasing us with this 92 area instead of going down 91. So unfortunately, it's a lot more risky now than it was a few minutes ago. So I would definitely be very careful here if you're trading multiple contracts. Trade smallest amount if you're going to do it at all, or cancel it would probably be uh, more prudent thing to do because the risk is a lot higher now that it won't hold. But if you're going to do it, maybe enter a little bit lower, like I said, maybe about 90 or 89, and then um, trade smaller if you're going to take the level at all. Only because of the way the price action is, and consequently, the price action dictates what we're trying to do. All right. Again, if you did trade the lower entry point there, did get in here at 91, get a nice quick bounce. Again, you have to be a little bit cautious here as to how many, make adjustments on your entry points, make adjustments on your number of contracts, only because of the way the price action is. Obviously, this area here seems to have a little bit of support. If you didn't get in at 91, obviously the 91.5 was an out. Maybe you'd adjust it there to 91 and maybe 90 area. So a nice little quick move there. If you kept it in, if you didn't, I totally get it. So we wait. Probably still do the 89 area if you're going to make an adjustment. If not, just totally just forget about it and let's wait for 85, which is the next big support level we have. All right, we drifted down to the 91 area and then come back up here. Resistance right now, it's, I guess we're still talking about the '06 area now. If we ever get back up there. All right, I guess they needed to get down to that 91 print and then make this move. At least if you stuck with it and stayed with it and you didn't adjust, that's good. If you did, that's fine. And now we're coming back up here. 6 area would be a little resistance if we get back up there. Well, we watch a whole bunch of different scenarios, but the most important thing that we're looking at is price action. The Where the markets sets value, how it sets value, how it breaks through it. We're looking for those technical points that give us the opportunity for price action plays um, during the day, but also we're looking for the levels to kind of hold, as you've seen that some of them did, some of them didn't. The market profile that we use is more based on the volume traded at different prices versus time. And they used to use time there as a component of market profile, but now we've shifted uh, to volume at prices. We use that in the work that we look at too, and that's what I mean by when it creates value. When it trades in a range, and when it breaks out of that range, it usually breaks out of a volume area that the market has created. So yeah, we look at that. We look at our averages also. We look at our Bollinger Band that keeps us on the right side of the market. We look at the hourly. We look at long-term levels as well. So we incorporate a whole bunch of stuff to try to find these levels to help us with the shift in volatility, or ebbs and flows. Because the volatility in the market changed a lot. The markets used to be a lot tighter, and once the markets went to trading electronically, the volatility spiked a lot. So they don't look at time anymore. Used to be able to stay in a tight range. S&Ps used to be able to trade. If you had a 20-point S&P range for the day, that was big. Now we're getting 20-point moves in an hour, and we can get a 20-point move the other way, or we can continue to downtick. You get 40, 50-point moves in a day. Yeah, we haven't had those 40, 50-point moves lately, but because the volatility has increased so much, the time factor is not as important anymore as it used to be. So they shifted from time to volume. I think if you pick up some of his newer stuff there on market profile, you'll see that that's what he's gone to, and that really works a lot better. As you can tell, we drifted down here. If you use time, you really won't get a good idea of what's occurring. But the volume that's traded between '02 and the 96 year area here is where you'd have your uh, big volume, and then now we're having trouble getting above the 96. So the volume is now shifted a little bit lower, so you can see where if we get above 98, they should pop it up a little bit based on the volume. Yeah, again, that shift was made electronic once we started going electronic. And again, only because of the volatility. It just moves around way too much in a short period of time, and you don't get that sway back and forth in a tight little range. So that's what happens there. right, market's again staying under pressure here. Um, at this point right now, it looks like it has to get above '08 for us to rally up. So resistance right now would be right around the 4 area. We get above '08, they might rally it back up to maybe 12, but right now it's still under pressure. Hasn't really rallied that much. It's just staying a little bit tighter ranges, a little bit lower highs. So, you know, get above 98, we could rally a little bit up to '04, but again, right now it's just kind of just hanging here on the lows. We did bounce off of our 91, so that level is definitely not in play anymore. Even the adjustment is probably not in play anymore, so I wouldn't even take the lower adjustment there of 90 or 89 anymore. And I would probably look at the 85 level as the next support level that we have. Short would be around the 4 to 6 area, and it would get above 8 out of any shorts. Market drifting up here a little bit. Trying to extend here, getting above 98. It could get us up here to '04. But very, very choppy, very, very quiet. Not much happening. We did bounce off of the 91 area there. And unfortunately, if some of you made the adjustment, then that maybe you got filled, maybe you got, well, it definitely didn't have the 91 and a half, that's for sure. Maybe you did leave the 91 in there. I would look at 03 to 04 area. All right. Again, we just come down here and just kind of sidewinded, not going anywhere fast. Again, patience is important, and waiting for the opportunities is important. Can't stress that enough, especially these days when the market seems to, definitely in holiday mode. They say that the quadruple witching hour or quadruple witching day was created the volatility this morning onto the downside here. But no, probably maybe not. That's what they say. Yeah, it is December, and we are coming up here on the eve of next week being Christmas, so Christmas week. So you know, this is a lot of people just hanging it up for them. I mean, you've had a great run in the market, right? So unless something drastic happens over the next, yeah, and the volume is very light, but unless something drastic happens and geopolitically or 2020, you never know in 2020. Then who knows? We might be, this might be it. So I really, like I said, I didn't expect much today. I'm surprised that we even moved as much as we did, but yeah, we've been very slow the last few days. The whole week has been just slow, steady, nothing happening. And today we get this this big break here right after the morning. But yeah, there's it's been like this most of the day. It gets to a point where you get one big move, and then the rest of the day just goes sideways. Not not unexpected this time of the year, honestly. Especially since the FOMC meeting was done on Wednesday, and they came out with their thing. And well, I am positive. I mean, I'm okay. I'm positive. I just don't expectations for the rest of next couple weeks are just not. They're positive expectations. They're not just they're not like keeping busy expectations. But it's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's just unfortunately we just don't have you know Christmas parties to go to. That would have been the only difference of now at this time of the year. We used to have some parties to go to, do something after you trade in the morning because it gets slow and nothing happens the rest of the day. And so you trade a little bit in the morning and you do your Christmas thing in the afternoon. Uh, Nowadays, you don't even have to go shopping because it's done online. It's like terrible. It's 2020. What else is new? Life is a bit strange right now is an understatement. This year has been just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Crazy. It gets crazier. Anything that could go wrong is going wrong. Not too many things are, I mean, the strangest things are happening everywhere. So just hopefully this things are going to be a little bit brighter, and they have been already. The vaccine's out, so that's got to be good. Market's up. You're right. That's part doesn't make any sense. Powell, maybe. Look, uh, there's yeah, yeah. They had to do what they had to do. They did the same thing in 2008 with the financial crisis. They had to do what they had to do to help stave off a deeper recession, and they did. They did a good job. And then this thing, is not only hitting the United States; it's hitting the whole world. And so that's you're getting help from every country, which is not, again, it's the right thing to do at this moment in time. Is it going to be? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? It all depends on how you how they handle paying for all of this later on. But at the moment, you have to do what you have to do. I don't think so. The independence of the Fed is still there. So I don't think that they're going to do what they have to do. And they're the only ones doing anything. I mean, for the last 3 or 4 months, they've been the only ones doing anything because Congress hasn't done anything. Yeah. Again, it's all politics right now. They wanted to keep that alive for them when the Republicans were in. All of a sudden, the Republicans have decided that what's good for one is not good for the other, being very selfish individuals. I don't know what happened to them. I really don't. I mean, I'm just surprised right now that this is all going down the way it is. But what can I tell you? I'm very disappointed in them, considering I'm one of them. But the length of time that it took to get one, the fact that they're acting very stupidly right now and trying to do what you said about the Fed, and just become totally dysfunctional. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening over there. I don't get it. They're not considering. That's the problem. I don't know. It's just I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing. I mean, let's put it this way. I would have thought that before the election that they would have come up with a stimulus package, because that would have been good for him. He could have boasted about that for sure. Instead, they just they decided not to do it, and I have no idea why. But they just put it off, and now it's you're getting huge numbers in the unemployment ranks again. You had this third wave coming. It's kind of crazy. That's what they say about Georgia, but I don't know. I also think the third wave or this last wave has really been a lot worse than anybody thought. I mean, they knew it was happening. They just didn't think it was going to. Maybe they didn't think it was going to be so bad. I don't know. But this third wave is bad. And the market opens up here to the downside. Support down at 85 is the next support level that we have. So they say it's Georgia because he wants to keep, but the rhetoric coming out of the Trump is he doesn't even care about Georgia. So I mean, you would think that he would be doing something to help those people there, but he's not. It's just a topsy-turvy situation all over the place. You try to make sense out of it, and the only amazing thing is that the stock market is doing as well as it is, especially considering everything. So well, I mean, think about it. You got low interest rates. You have these companies that are still making money because their tax rate is so low, and that's what fueled this move up here to these levels for the last 2 years. They got hurt initially, but they pretty much got that back, and people are adjusting a little bit, but I mean at some point things are not going to be as rosy as they look. The stimulus is a big deal. Obviously, you're getting $1 trillion almost of the stimulus in addition to the other stuff. So that's keeping the market buoyant to the upside. So we continue just to open up the floodgates here today. It's very difficult. It's very harmful. I agree with you 100%. Totally. I think it's awful. I worry about my kids and how they're going to deal with that stuff going forward, because it doesn't look good right now. I mean, I don't know what solution's going to come out, how this is going to play out, but hope it plays out a little bit. I don't know. There's no good. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, it goes to the scenario about the 2020 thing. Anything that's happening this year is effed up and continues to be effed up, and the outcome is unknown. All right, nice rotation here off of the 85 area. Got a quick 2-point rotation here. You think I wasn't trading just because I was talking? No, I was trading. Had my orders in there. So we did finally have an easy trade for once. And the pressure here on the market continues. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of this 85 level. I mean, again, the reason I was able to do that is because I have my orders in there already. So then my stops get triggered and they're automatically in there, and everything's just kind of set itself up that way. So I don't have to really do too much, just to kind of watch it. But yeah, the way the market was acting earlier, we said the 91 was out then, especially since it did work. It's just a matter of the adjustments did not work. So if you adjusted it, we said cancel those and then look for 85. And the 85 worked very nicely here. And if you want to try to stay long there, if you're trading multiple contracts, then just have a trailing stop. See if we can't get this back up. If you get back up to the 92, I would probably look there to maybe 91, 92 area would be where I'd be kind of targeting if you have anything left over. So we adjusted we gave you some other levels on the downside in addition to the ones that we had this morning, which was 77, 70, and then 63. We're looking to get short there, 03, 04, but we never got up there. And now we're just kind of trying to bounce here off of our 85 area. And we're getting a nice little rotation here. I look for 91, 92 here if you have any left over to get out of the rest of them there. This is a way we can take more than a couple points on our trades. But again, you have to trade multiple contracts to be able to do that. If you're just trading ones or twos, you take your profits and be happy with it. And again, we had to trade today, literally trade, because the market's been one-sided, kind of moving quickly. We've had to make adjustments along the way. So everything's not etched in stone just because, we have levels and this and that. You have to make adjustments based on the trade. And since we're here trading every day, that's what we do, right? Anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat box area. I have that window up, and if you just put it to panelists only, I see it, and Brad, so it's not a big deal. Stops, depending on volatility, 2 to 3 points. Today will probably be, because of the added volatility, probably look at 3 to 4 points stops, and profit targets would probably be definitely minimally the same, and potentially a little bit more, depending on number of contracts you trade. So we scale in, scale out of our levels. That way gives us an opportunity to get in if we miss our level a little bit or not, or if we get the extra move to the downside, we're scaling in here at a little better price as we drifted all the way down to 83.5 here, 83.25 actually. So initially 2 to 3 points. Like I said, right now probably 3 to 4 points would be more appropriate, as we've gotten that nice rotation here off of that. We pretty much risk averse. We're not trying to hit home runs. We're just trying to take a little bit out of the market. Basically, we're scalping the market. So we're just trying to find these inflection points that gives us those opportunities to scalp it. So we keep our losses minimal, and again, together we put together a methodology that we're looking for 4 to 5 trades in a day. Levels, the way their levels have played out right now, we've got 5, but we maybe canceled 1. So, but we also have price action opportunities that occur in addition to the levels, but because the market's been kind of one-sided right now, the price action's not all there. Yeah, we focus more on the morning hours, first couple hours of the day, depending on how busy it is. But we feel that there's good ebbs and flows. The volatility is better for us. The late afternoon trade gets a little bit more sticky. A lot less traders are trading. It becomes more one-sided, especially at the end of the day. You have to be very careful. At the end of the day, only the price action plays are very limited. But the morning hours, I think first 2-3 hours of the morning is what we strive to do, where we try to make most of our money here. Only because we feel that the late afternoon trade is not as kind to price movement as they are in the morning. There's at least good ebbs and flows in the morning. But again, if things change like we did in March and April, when things were really crazy, we could have been trading all day. The things were really crazy moving around, but had to be very careful, because those days we had more like 10-point stops in our trades with 10-point profit targets, and we were getting them. So we have to make adjustments to the market, obviously. And so that's what, so right now we're 3 to 4 points, and we've got a nice rotation here off of this 85. So if you've been trading multiple contracts, you're getting out right around here. We suggested 91, 92 area. That's where I would have been trying to get out of any longs down there. So again, this is one way of also taking more than 2 to 3 points in our trades. You get in, then you scale out, and you're going to keep any extra for a nice 6-7 point move here. Make up for some of those other trades that we had this morning that didn't turn out so good. But trading is, we've been very lucky lately. We've been doing all right in the morning and giving us our goals, and then we don't really care what happens. Today we had to work a little bit the volatility here, because I guess they say it's triple witching or quadruple witching, and the volatility has come early instead of late. But I doubt that. I think it's more. There's other contributing factors to this move here besides the quadruple witching, especially early on this morning. I think this hacking with the Russians hacking is going to be a little bigger problem than it is. I think the word is just leaking out, but I think it's going to be uh, a bigger issue than it is right now, and I think the market is maybe going to consider that a little bit. I'm just guessing. I don't know anything. I'm just saying that there's more to this move right now than just telling me that it was quadruple witching and the volatility has come into the market. It just seems the hacking, the computer hacking of a lot of the government buildings and government agencies in the United States. So I think that's going to. I think that could be overriding issue here underneath. The Cold War all over again. Yeah, well, it could be cyber war. I think you're going to hear, a lot more of this stuff, and than. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It seems to me this move right now a little bit more than just quadruple witching, because like that usually happens at the end of the day. That usually doesn't happen the beginning of the day, or they go a little bit nutso. All right, so nice trade there. If you were able to hang in there with this 85 entry point, got up here to 92, which is where I thought that there would be some good resistance, at least a good target. So if you did hang in there with it, nice little trade. Yeah, Robert, that could be a good one too. Yeah, but I mean Tesla is yeah, I mean that's I mean look, that all of that stuff is into you throw it into the equation. You're right, that could happen too. So that throw in the fact that maybe they have an agreement, and again the agreement situation in Washington is probably, like I said, I've been saying, is like you kind of buy the rumor, sell the fact type of situation where they've been talking about this thing for 2 weeks now, at least recently 2 weeks, and they finally have decided to do something. So once it's done, what else is the market kind of hoping for? Not much, especially so people who've been waiting for this or buying dips in the hopes of they're going to get this deal done, going to take some profits. So that's what I was thinking before, but so who knows? I mean, you throw all of that stuff into the fray, and you come up here with this little break. But I again, all speculation on my end. I don't know anything. I'll discount that right away. Tell you my disclaimer. Still no COVID relief bill as U.S. Congress faces shutdown deadline. Yes, I do. Depending, like when we're trading there around the 12 area there, I did not like it, so I was getting out. Um, yeah, sometimes you just gotta, take what, like, it's not just giving you the 2 points, especially when it was moving to the downside earlier. That's all. Yeah, I would say that's okay. That's correct. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, I didn't look at it that way. Somebody said that. I think I finally figured out something important about trading, and that is it's not a science, it's an art. I would have to agree with that. I mean, there's just no right. Everybody comes here wants this like magical thing that you're supposed to do the right thing every single time. It's not. It's like the markets are, you have to do things differently sometimes because the market is not the same every day. And so you have to adjust a little bit. So if science is, you know, there's rules, and the rules have to be adjusted here every day when you come into work. Nice trade there, Robert. If you did get in, you get a nice rotation. And 92 was a good little level of resistance. Very good. And we suggested you get out there. Thought that would be a good area where the market would stop. And as one of our traders got short there, so that was a nice trade for him. So nice little trade there. If you did get in it long, and if you did get short there against a 92, that was another nice trade. Well, was there a reason for it? There was. That's why I suggested you get out of longs at 92, because there was some resistance up there, and somebody took it to another level where they got short against the 92 and made a nice little play off of that opportunity. So that was a nice little price action opportunity for you. Again, we get these ebbs and flows in the morning more than we do late in the afternoon. So that's why we kind of focus more on these opportunities early on in the day for the first couple hours. And then the rest of the day, it gets a little bit tougher to trade. Again, depending on volatility. If this volatility continues the rest of the day, then yeah, maybe you'll have more opportunities. But usually they suck the volume and the liquidity out of the market as the afternoon goes on, and then they wait for the last hour to do something. which you definitely don't want to be around for. Sometimes it gets a little bit way too much one-way trade late afternoon. And since we're looking for ebbs and flows, doesn't really bode too well for us. All right, so nice little trade there for us. Finally was a little bit easier than all the rest of the days we've been having trades, except the 91 did work okay for us. That was also kind of a no-brainer. You just had to make a little bit of an adjustment. No, I don't. I don't usually look at any kind of I just kind of just read off of what the market's kind of telling us to do. So not my. I think the game is hard enough as it is without having too many things to look at, right? So me having my charts, trying to find my levels, trying to understand why my levels would work, trying to find the price action opportunities that occur because the market creates them, not because I'm making them up. And it gives me that's all of that gives me enough to look at instead of trying to look at I keep it simple is what I'm trying to say, and it's working. So let's stick with that instead of trying to put in too many other distractions. They're not. Some people use them though. I'm not here to I'm here just to add to somebody's repertoire of trading. If somebody uses it and they're happy with it, they're good with it, that's fine. That's great. And if you're an experienced trader and you like what we hear, you hear with us, and kind of just trade along with us too. Add that to your repertoire of trading. But if you can add a lot of different things, everybody adds a different. I get levels from other people as well. I look at them and compare them to mine. And if I like something that makes sense to me, that's great. If it doesn't, that's all right too. Yeah, I keep it very simple. You overload and you can't focus on the trade. You're focusing on everything else but. The hardest thing to do is to let the market tell you when to get in and let the market tell you when to get out, instead of you trying to look at some kind of indicator or something to help you with that. Yes, that's what the goal is of the goal in our education course is to be able to spot the levels, understand why they are there, why they would be chosen, and then to understand when to cancel them when it's not going to work and when to adjust them. At the end of the day, the goal of the course is for you to be able to find the levels on your own, to trade them on your own, to cancel them on your own, to adjust them on your own, to do all these things. But most of it is pretty much straightforward. We try to again. I'm not one for a lot of things to look at. I stay focused on a couple things that worked for us and is working for us, and consequently, that's what we try to do here. Brad, who's going to come on in a little bit, he'll be able to give you that information. And if you want to talk to me about it, we could, after you talk to him and see if everything works out. So he'll start you off, and if you want to talk to me about it, I'll be more than glad to talk to you about it as well. And I can give you a call or something. But Brad will be able to help you out initially, and then if you want to have a discussion with me, we could obviously do that as well. All right. Yeah. So we try to keep it very straightforward here. We don't overload. Uh, we think that trading is hard enough as it is to have too many uh, things to look at. Just focus on a couple things that work, and then try to make your money off of that. And if it doesn't work that day, it'll work the next. So the trick is to be able to make sure you come back tomorrow. That's the trick. You don't want to get yourself in a deep hole where you can't come back tomorrow. Because if things don't work out today, tomorrow will be a better day. And that's how you gotta focus in on. Today we actually had to work a little bit. I have to admit, today was a little bit more, wasn't as straightforward but I think we did okay here at the end, especially with these last couple levels here, bailed us out. But we had to work a little bit today. Usually we can take a little bit of a breather, and then all of a sudden we got busy. I mean, when was the last time we got busy? We saw what happened here. We haven't gotten this kind of range in a day, this whole week, which is nice, but also unexpected, especially for a Friday, you know. So that was good, but we can't complain. All right, we'll take a little bit of a break. Come back in a bit.
Hey, thanks, Saul. For those that are coming in as guests, welcome. I do send out an opportunity to sign up for Saul's monthly at a discount. Usually it's $379. Right now it's on for $100. It gives you the opportunity to join the family. Once you join the family, you have the opportunity to talk to Saul about his course and his mentoring work. Judy, I'll send it out to you so you have it. Not sure if I sent it out to you this morning. It's nominal. Just goes that everybody's sort of playing on the same dance card. Well, it's interesting because the program really is you working directly under Saul's wing and him teaching you his methodology in private class. He does it personally. It becomes you and he, where you're in, where you are in your trading, where you'd like to be, and then the price action trading strategy. You'll learn in private class how to set the levels, and then it's what to do with the levels, the entries, exits, and stops in and around a particular level, whether it's his pivot or his other levels on an intraday basis. So I think the key is that you not only learn price action as a strategy, not only learn how to set the levels so that you can set them on your own, Sol's proprietary scalping levels, but it's the nuance. And somebody mentioned it earlier, and I mentioned it from time to time, is that trading is really an art form, but you're developing the art form off a discipline, and the discipline's price action. So the art form is how do you actually make the money? Why do you enter here price wise versus there? And how do you make that adjustment? And who's going to help you make that adjustment in that approach? So if every day from momentum and follow through is different, and the constant is the setting of Sol's proprietary scalping levels, that's really the first thing you want to learn how to do. And that takes time. So Saul's mentoring the relationship with you as an individual. The first part of that service lasts a year. So when you sign up for Saul's mentoring, you're really signing up for time with him, not only in private session where you learn the technique, you learn to apply the technique. It's the tweaking and changes based on the reality of price change and the reality of what happened this particular day versus, let's say, on Monday, and how you're going to adjust your trading price action entries, exits, and stops so that you can develop what we call consistent profitability. It's really as simple as that. So there's no course material, there's no cookie cutter stuff for you to try to read. At this point in your trading, if you're a new trader, well, I should say, if you are a new trader, then you really have a leg up because you're not being poisoned by all the crazy stuff out there, all the standardized software, all the different indicators, crosses, time frames, all the noise, the various inputs from elsewhere, which may be valid, but it's not really too valid about actually making money in the moment. So that's what he does. He takes you under his wing. You develop a relationship with him personally and privately, and you apply your newfound trading skills that he has taught you in private session and private Zoom class. You apply those skills, and then he helps you make those small changes that make the difference between success and failure. Now, that's the idea, that's the concept, that's the price you pay to be able to do that with him. What turns out is up to you because you're the talent, you have the temperament, and so the concept here is how do you come out the other side with consistent profitability, and then how do you hold on to it? Because let's say it's achievable, and then you start to stray. Well, you still have Sol here to help you bounce. I call it when I was raising my children, and also when I was a kid, they had bumpers at the bowling alley. Well, who's going to keep you within those bumpers so that you have a lot better shot at doing well at your trades instead of going off in all sorts of tangents and getting sucked into the ego trip that comes along with trading? So it's a short game in golf, and that's what Saul offers individuals like yourself or others. So one-on-one with Saul is not inexpensive. The gift, if you will, is the $100 a month versus the 379. So generally, to access Saul on a monthly basis for the morning session, to receive his levels and then go through. I mean, even the questions you asked today were probably in the $1,000 category when it comes to responses. The so the opportunity for individuals is to come in like you're doing, switch to a monthly and get the discounted price. If you get the monthly of 100, you get to keep it. In other words, it rolls over at your will because it's between you and PayPal. And then you don't get the 379 at the end of the month, you get to keep the 100. So that's really a gift. It's really to see if people are, I hate to put this way, but if you can't pay $100, then what's the point of even having a conversation? And we do get people that freak out, but then I wonder how are they trading? How do they expect to do this and trade? When the requirement from the exchanges is a lot of dough to have a trading account. So the gift is the 100. The normal price is 379. and it really is a no-brainer. The course and his mentoring is something that is certainly worth its price. Just a matter of having that conversation privately on the telephone, and then we can set up a time to do that. Yeah, that's what you want to talk to us privately on the telephone. And I can tell you why is because Saul's list price, his normal price is on discount now because of COVID, and you probably want to hear what that is. Yeah, and it's funny, it's true, right? What's non-expensive? It's all relative. You know, the it depends on each individual. And we try to work with everybody on an individual basis, but absolutely there is a cost associated with Saul's time. He's not quite at angel level yet, based on his giving back to the community, but he's certainly close. But I also think that there's a very tight group here that really do appreciate what Saul brings to the table for them, and they also bring something to the table for Saul. Saul makes friends. Saul loves the interaction and the professionalism of the individuals that are part of his world. So that's why I always say that when you're deciding to pay the 379 or whatever number it is, you're really just joining the family on a monthly basis. So let me know, Judy, if you want to talk privately on the phone. We can do that. Just post your telephone number, send it to panelists. And for those that are joining us on the outside, step on into Zoom, join us live, become part of the family.